Welcome to Negotiating Happiness, the show that helps you find happiness, success, and balance in your work and life. I'm Adriana Fierster, your host for this journey into entrepreneurship and personal growth. We're broadcasting live on 107.7 and 105.3 FM in New Orleans as part of the United Public Radio Network. We explore the latest strategies, insights, and stories from successful entrepreneurs and experts. From managing stress to building a thriving business, we've got you covered.
What's out there? What creates the shadows in the corners or the creatures of the dark? Who are those on the other side? What do they have to say? This is the Gateway Podcast. This is not your normal style of paranormal talk radio. Brought to you live from United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM New Orleans.
When they are consuming your minds and your thoughts and your dreams, from the angels to the demons and to the mysteries unseen, there is no need to worry. There is no need for dread. It's just time to discuss the thing at the foot of the bed.
Welcome to Negotiating Happiness, the show that helps you find happiness, success, and balance in your work and life. I'm Adriana Fierster, your host for this journey into entrepreneurship.
Hi, I'm Brittany Ashley, your host of Breaking Norms, Building Dreams, your guide through this transformative journey in both business and life. This is your place crafted for dreamers, doers, or anyone who has been told they can't. Get ready as we challenge those narratives together. You're tuning in live to the United Public Radio Network, airing on 105.3 and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. We are streaming on all the popular platforms every Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join me for a candid and thought-provoking conversation celebrating your unique journey because you are worth it.
This is the United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM in New Orleans and 105.3 in the Gulf Coast. UP
Tune in to UFO Undercover, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, with your host, Joe Montaldo, right here on the Paranormal Radio Network.
I had enough.
Well, you drove out there into the middle of nowhere and had some sort of loud verbal display challenging ET in general out in the middle of nowhere?
That's what I was doing. I actually had a pistol in my hand at the time. I was really ticked off. When I was having this fit, I was waving the gun in the air, okay, and I had this fit. And at this moment, I said, okay.
was a Louisiana man named Montaldo. Folks around called him Six Gun Joe. Worked with ICAR, don't you know? Investigating UFOs. Out for a drive with a gal one night, they stopped to check out the reporting site. When an alien lit right there on the ground, he commenced to throwing his weight around. Now, old Six Gun didn't take too kindly to that kind of thing, especially without Vaseline or anything like that, you know. Seriously. Well, Six Gun looked that critter right in the eye and said, "Any last wish before you die?" Yo, reached for his gun, quick as a twitch, and said, "Fill your claw, you son of a bitch." Now a legend spread across the land about this pistol-waving man. But if you're from space or from Earth below, you don't give no lip to Six Gun Joe.
Welcome to UFO Undercover with your host, Joe Montaldo.
Welcome, everyone, to UFO Undercover. I was ready to say something entirely different.
Yeah, we're not doing that show till
Jay's,
Saturday.
we're going to have to change the intro until so Jay's name's in there. So much stuff we're going to be talking about tonight. And now that hear Uncle Greer's stuff is out. Hey, Joe, how you doing down here, man? I wish when we posted in the chat room, it wouldn't have to have 5 billion of those things up there. I hate that.
Yeah, it sends it to every different chat room. So
but it doesn't have to tell us that. We already know that.
Yeah.
It should like a little button over there. 8 sent to all 8. I don't know. It's kind of strange.
Yeah, and then also, I mean, if I send a message, it doesn't say it's from me. If you send one, it doesn't say it's from you.
No, it just says it's from
whatever it is. UFO, Joe Montaldo, UFO Undercover, all those things. But
anyway, yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about yaps, a little bit about UFOs, about aliens, maybe a little bit about Greer. We all know how much I love Greer, so
oh god,
we may have to talk about him and his exalted self.
He's a defrocked doctor. What did he do again? He was an anesthesiologist, or
no? I know originally he was working at the New York emergency room. What he was doing there, I don't venture to say. It's been so long since I've talked about it. I probably have honestly forgot. See, this is what was so funny. So when this all came out, was it 2001 when Greer did this, the Disclosure Project, and then he came out and I'm listening to it and I'm thinking this might not be a bad idea. 51 witnesses, 56 witnesses. I'm like, wow. No, I'm like an hour into it. I'm like, Jesus, just can shoot me now. No, sorry, Gene, I don't curse on the show, but I'm just like, just shoot me now. It was just, first of it was starting to get boring. Then I started hearing things like, there's 56 different types of aliens on this planet. Okay, how are they getting here? You just can't say there's 56 different types of aliens on this planet. I need to know how they're getting there, where they're coming from. Is there a Stargate, or are these coming on spaceships, or there's dimensional portals? How in the hell is 56 different types of aliens? Oh, and wait. Now, I've been doing research now for, God, I hate to even admit this, 40 years. 40 years, people. I know a little bit about this.
I think I got you by 7.
Yeah. So the thing of it is, you're just a baby, man. Get the hell out of here. That don't count. It's got to be a legal age, man. It's got to be legal age, at least 18. I would say 18 people. That's when I was learning that I might have an interest in it. Really, more like 21 or 22 is when I really got started. But because people kept telling me they were alien abductees. I was like, why are you telling me this? I don't know. You don't tell me that, you weirdo freako from hello kind of person. I mean, come on. You just don't tell a stranger you were taken by aliens. I mean, give me a freaking break. What? I'm drinking.
Can we get back to Stephen Greer?
Bourbon, man. I'm drinking bourbon. I'm drinking. This is what I'm drinking. Look, see, you can't put bourbon in a cup like this. Get out of here, man.
it's got to be in a highball or a rocks glass. So get this. I pulled this up. This is from Wikipedia, and it's just his medical career. It's one sentence. Excuse me. It's two sentences long. It says Greer, as in Stephen M. or Stephen Macon Greer, received his Virginia medical license in 1989 and worked as an emergency room physician. In 1998, he decided to retire as a physician in favor of his ufology activities. So 10-year career. So that doesn't sound like.
But stop there for a minute.
To retire. It sounds like.
But stop. So this might actually help him, but I hate to do this. So this, before you go, I'm gonna let you finish. So don't keep where you're at. So Gregory Avery, the Orb Master, another ufologist, big guy, would move on. I knew him pretty well. 10-year money making lawyer, raising kids, wife happy, big house, whole 9 yards. He decides out of the blue that he wants to get into ufology. And after he got into ufology, he let his law practice go. He started getting into all kind of new age weird shit. He started chasing UFOs around. It just took his life over. Now we know that it can consume your life. I've seen it happen to many people. And I have spent literally, y'all don't even know how much money I spent on this. If anybody knew what I spent on this, you'd just look at me like I was stupid. Because sometimes even I look at me like I'm stupid.
The thing is getting research in books. It's not a so
let's Alfred Weber, one of the science advisors working with Jimmy Carter.
Mm-hmm.
It just career lawyer from hell, all kind of credits. Boom, goes nuts, becomes ufology guy. About 10 years in, there's something weird going on here, and I don't want to hate because I'm friends with some of these guys, but it just seems like, either they figure it's an opportunity, which they might. I'm not going to rule that out, or something happens, something trips, and they do this. Because Gregory, I knew Gregory was nuts. I mean, he lost it. He just, and he's a good guy. I like the guy, and it just consumed him. I mean, he left his wife, or I forgot how many years he'd been with his kid, whole 9 yards. Went and hooked up
wife over ufology. Good Lord.
Yeah. Went and hooked up with a tarot card reader. He went in head first, man. It was rough watching him go down. What you doing there, Fox? You being foxy, baby? I don't know. Greer just always struck me wrong because after that, there was so many contradictions in that when they did that in 2001 that I was confused. Because Carol Rosin, whether this, and I like Carol Rosin, she worked for Werner von Braun. She worked for his assistant. So, she knows a lot about it. She talks real well about him. Talks real well about the research and everything. And she talks a lot about aliens and UFOs and what she knows. But I mean, as you go through the list of people, the story it's just too much. There's just one, it's contradicting each other. And these aliens would be falling on top of each other. There's no proof that there's that much visitation going on this planet. Just none. And there's no way you're going to tell me that Uncle Sam is keeping 56 different types of aliens a secret. I'd have to say, like the kid on TV, bullshit. I'd have to call you on that.
Yeah.
Show that. No way.
I mean, as far as the research that I've been conducting, and it's been a long time. It seems that there hasn't been for the last at least the last 100 years. There hasn't been more than 5 species on the planet at any one given time. And something I was reading just the other day, I don't remember which book it was because I have several open at once. They said that the Galactic Federation, which is controlling this sector of space, has put a sort of a lien on our planet, a barricade, if you will, not allowing the
stay to bleep out, people.
Well, to keep everyone else
big
out.
red flashing signs when you come in on one of their spaceships that goes stay the out.
Right.
Enter at your own risk when you have permission.
That's the
stay
information that I have at this time.
It's I know I'm pretty sure because we'd have been taken over otherwise. I'm pretty sure once they sent the Greys here back, how many of thousands of years ago it was. I think after they did their assessment, and went and told whoever they worked for, and they went to the council and said, "Well, look." They were like, "Oh, maybe we should," because they interfered anyway. I mean, they interbred with us.
Well, A, B, and C, yes, those are all allegedly part of the story, but there's also massive destruction. I mean, on a more than a global scale, on a solar scale,
Big
there are
army.
4 planets in this solar system that are, one is completely destroyed, one is to the point where you can barely live on it, the other one is about to explode, and the fourth one you can't live on it unless you breathe carbon dioxide.
It's a mess, man. It's a mess. But we can't say that aliens caused that. I'm with you on this, but we can't actually say that because So let's look at this from a different kind of strange, stupid point of view. Well, I shouldn't say stupid, but so we got all of our Naribu fans out there. Planet X, number 10. Well, number 9 now. Planet X has got to stop calling it Planet X, man, because that's right. So it's Planet 9 now. Strange aliens from Planet 9. But anyway,
that makes it that puts it in the Dune universe. That makes it Planet IX.
See,
planet in the Dune series.
Well, we don't be telling people that anyway. Sorry, it's I don't people. The thing of it is there's no Chinese astronomers seen Planet X. Okay, they've been 5,500 years. The Mayans, Aztecs, and Incans 4,000 years or more. Toltecs. So they've been watching the skies really well, in the Egyptians for about 5,000. We can even stretch it maybe to 6.
The Sumerians, however, have much better solar sky maps of our solar system than the other.
Let's say that just means we've been watching the skies for 6,500 years at least.
Yeah, but the Sumerians have clay tablets, heated tablets after they made the images of our solar system with all of the planets that we know, even up to Pluto. But they didn't have telescopes.
Same way the Dogon knew that the Sirius star system is there.
It's a solar-centric universe. These are concepts that go forward 1,000 years. If you were to say, these 9 planets revolve around that yellow sun we're looking at, you'd be killed by the church.
You'd be killed by the church all the way up until 1,500 years ago.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But these clay tablets exist that show our solar system, drawn by the Sumerian people, 6,000 BCE.
And you got the Dogon doing the same thing with the dog star, with the planet Sirius system. So there was advanced knowledge out there. However, that you want to argue and say they got it. I mean, there's lots of arguments about how it became. And I always loved the ones that told me, "Oh, the people, the scientists told the Dogon about it." I'm like, "What?" I said, and the scientists went in there and painted all them things on their ceilings and checked out all them holes in the skulls where they were doing skull surgery and stuff. I'm like, no, don't bullshit. We know, because you know pretty well. I mean, there's a pretty good history. The Dogon has a pretty good oral history. So, and it's been pretty well documented now. So no, it wasn't. They knew about it a long time before. Well, I think they said 3,000 for at least 3,000 years, which is radio telescope's been around for what, about 100, maybe 110, something. But somewhere up around there. But anyway, I mean, well, no, people. So the Sirius 1, 2, and 3, the dog star system, you can't see with the naked eye. You have to have radio telescope to know it's there. There's no way you can see it. Also, they knew what the orbit of Sirius 1 was 55.5 years. Their calendar was based on it, on a 55.5 year orbit. They also knew the mass, that if you took a spoonful of it, it would fall through our planet. How the hell could they know that?
You can't unless you've been out there.
I mean, somebody had to tell them. I mean, there's just this, or they've been traveling, but I mean, somehow or another, they knew these things. They knew about the blood circulation system in the human body. They knew how to do.
They could do trepanation. They could open up the skull to relieve pressure from head and brain.
They knew an awful lot for some cave dwellers living in the mountains who may or may not have been Egyptians.
Let me get a picture of something that, and I think you'll find this amazing. I don't know if we've talked about this as often as on Jeff's show, but the whoever made the images in the sand in the desert, the Nazca lines, had to have had at least they had to have had not just telescopes, but a microscope. That's the word I'm looking for. Because there's the spider glyph. If anyone is aware of the Aranya or Spider-Man or spider glyph, here's a good image of it. Let me see if I can't do view image. Is that all the bigger it gets? Good Lord. Okay. Well, anyway. So the spider that's presented in the desert in Nazca, is it Peru? Can't remember the country.
I think it is Peru.
I think it's Peru. So they have this. I'm sorry, I can't make it any bigger. It just says this small thing. This is a spider here.
I think
but
it's
on
huge,
this,
by the way.
It's enormous. I think it's a mile long from the top of the toe to the bottom of the other toes. So the third leg on this side has this appendage right here. You see that? Oh wait, let me put my mouse on the right page. Then maybe you'll see it. Here's the appendage. You see the appendage here? This is the third leg of the spider. This is the appendage here. This is a type of spider called a reticulated spider, which is strange because our aliens from a planet, or at least a system called Zeta Reticuli, same word. The reticulated spider is 10 millimeters in diameter. It's smaller than a tick, virtually microscopic. I mean, you can see them, but you can't see the detail that you see on this thing. That third leg has an appendage that is used for mating among the species. But here's the really weird thing. The reticulated spider, if it existed in South America, is extinct. The only known species of reticulated spiders live across the pond in Africa, and in Central Africa, by the way. Like, I think it's Nairobi. So
see, I don't doubt that at some point all of this was crisscrossing with each other. There's other evidence that suggests that we were crisscrossing the seas and the oceans
I
long
agree
before
that there's communication worldwide. I mean, there is, because we have Egyptian hieroglyphs in Australia. We have there's enough evidence to prove there was much more communication among our early species. But in order for the Nazcans or whoever made these lines to know that, they would have to have had at least a magnifying glass
or a picture,
or a blow-up diagram of some kind to know that. But I've also speculated that spider isn't just a type of creature, because the mouth is not like the mouth of an actual spider. If you compare that to artistic renderings of what the magnetosphere is, or the magnetic atmosphere of our planet looks like, it is also virtually identical to that spider. And that's not a coincidence. It can't be both. It has to be one or the other. It is either a representation of the magnetic signature of our planet, or it's a microscopic blow up of a microscopic spider that has a third leg.
All the Nazcan stuff is really interesting. What is this compass looking thing? It looks like an A-frame, also right over the appendage.
Put it up. Let me take this off. Put it up.
Well, you had it. I can't. I don't have it. You had it.
What compass? I didn't see the compass.
No, okay, when you put the picture back up, and I'll tell you where to look.
Let me get it back up.
Carolyn, hold on. We'll talk about that in a little while. Yeah. Oh, you mean this? Oh no. Karen did this from ATP. She did a fabulous job. Okay, so see where the third appendage is going outward?
Yeah.
There's like an A-frame over the top of it. There's a leg that comes down before it goes up, and there you go. You got it.
That's the
It's like a compass. That's what it looks like, or an A-frame, one or the other. It's awful weird that it's right there. I mean, it's just an eyeball when I seen it. I was like, what the hell is that?
They might have a wider angle of that. So let me go back to the.
Sorry if I'm drinking in y'all's ears, guys. I apologize. No, I like this new banner she put up here for us. I think it's pretty, man. It's sharp. Make everybody in the network start using that. Oh, she made it, Jay. She made us a new banner for news on the flip side too.
Oh, great.
Well, I actually asked her to convert the one and put news at flip side, and she actually changed the colors and all for it. So I'm gonna pull it up. We'll use it this Friday.
So here's a different angle of the spider.
Jay's bad on news at flip side. I'm sweet. He is bad. Hey, Mark. Jay is like, he's out of control on Friday night. I mean, he's especially if he's been with Jeffrey ahead of time. Oh my God,
There's a one that I think it gets kind of fired up, and I used a couple of F-bombs here and there.
Yes, between we don't two that curse, the other two don't curse.
Here's
okay, yeah, it's still there. It's still in there.
Yeah, see, that's like, I don't know, some kind of looks like a
see this whole thing. Wait, stop for a minute. When I look at this page, if I didn't know what this was, because there looks like, okay, so on all the way on the edge of the page, it looks rounded like a border, like it's a border going around it. And then you see this compass looking thing, and then you see these other weird angles in there and these lines going through it. It looks like a fucking blueprint is what it looks like, with a compass laying on top of it.
Yeah.
It's, well, people, remember, in context, you have to take this. This isn't, so we're looking at this right here, but in context, this is much larger, and there's many, 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 many more of these. Go ahead, Jim, sorry.
Yeah. There's over 300 images in the desert. I mean, they're not just in the desert. I mean, there's also the dude on the coast, you know, the guy that's holding like a trident or whatever. But this has some pretty amazing detail. This compass, whatever it is that you're talking about, is a berm of some kind, because you can see there's a shadow on this side, light on this side.
Yeah, I know. It's just odd that it's right there.
Yeah.
It's just
odd. These are also berms. These are not natural, I don't think. They look like they're intentionally built up berms.
Yeah, no telling what they actually were there for. The Nazcan people were very strange. The Nazcans used to board their children, board them with boards. They'd strap boards to their head, and they would tilt them so that their heads would look more like their gods. Yeah. Oh no, they knew what their gods looked like quite well, and they didn't look like freaking humans either. Oh, not in the human like we'd look like. No, I think they were the human aliens. Actually, I don't think they were the Greys. I think they were, in the old days, I used to think they were Greys until I seen a picture of how they were boarding them, and then I realized that's not what they're doing. They were stretching the head back a little bit and up a little bit, which is how the human aliens' heads look. I know it's a pretty big sign right there, and there weren't no pictures of no saucers anywhere. So lots of.
I can find it. There's one alleged picture or two. It says it's a real image of an actual gray alien. And I think that's one of them. I think this is one of them. It's not the best one. There is another one out there that I've seen it. I have a pretty good degree in photography, and I can't figure it out. But this is allegedly one of the gray aliens, and
now it's pretty good. But there's two things right off the bat how you know it's not a gray alien. Two things. Okay, it does look kind of real though, doesn't it?
Yeah,
doesn't it look kind of real? So,
but the head's not long enough.
So the head's not wide enough either. So it's got to be wider this way, and it kind of. I guess the best way to explain it is like if you made a dome cap and put over all the way and brought it up. Yeah. Their brains are about 4 times the size of ours, so that gives you an idea.
Our brains are 550 to 650 cc's, and I think theirs are 1500. At least, okay. Let me rephrase that. The elongated skulls that have been found in the deserts of mostly South America, but all over the planet as well. The brain capacity of those skulls is like 15 or 1600 cc. So
that's a human alien. So the Greys are probably 3 times that.
And that's what bothers me about people saying, "Oh no, they're just they were headboarded," and I've said this, and people attack me in other paranormal rooms. I said headboarding would not account for a larger brain size. And someone says, "Oh, shut up, you're stupid." I'm like, yeah, whatever. I think that person actually got banned out of the room, but headboarding would not triple or double or increase the brain size. In fact, it might actually decrease your brain capacity. So instead of being 650,
well, at the very least, it's going to deform the brain. So we don't know what's going to happen, what the outcome could be. That could trigger stuff we don't know. Maybe it could trigger alien-like abilities, or maybe it could trigger some kind of embolisms or something. But I will say this: there wasn't a lot of buried ones.
Or retardism, some sort of retardation.
Yeah, see, but we know that there probably wasn't a lot of that because they haven't found a lot of children's graves with them done.
Not that many.
They have found a lot of adults with them because that means they did them, a lot of adults were buried with, pretty nice stuff. So they were probably, I don't think they were any more intelligent than anybody else. It was just probably the way it fell down. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I have to say something I forgot to say at the very end. Shame on me. A good friend of ours, one of our hosts on this show, Laura Lee Potton, her son passed away this morning. I just wanted to tell her, say we miss you, Laura Lee. We're worried about you. We love you. Be safe. If you need us, give us a call. Anyway, I wanted to say it at the beginning, but my brain went off on something else with stupid Dr. Greer.
Yeah.
No, I don't like Dr. Greer.
Oh, here it is. Okay. This is from a video, and I've seen this video, and this video is somewhat disturbing. And this is just the first image we'll look at. But I'm pretty sure this came out of Sector 4. Oop, wrong button.
Doofus. God, Jay, a doofus.
Okay, so here is allegedly one of the types that was found and or rescued in or after Roswell, allegedly.
Now you see, this is better. This is much better. Head still would be bigger. I ain't gonna lie, but I'm gonna tell you a little secret when it comes to the Greys. So the Greys got big eye sockets like that, but I mean, it's not eyes; it's patches. They have eyes, and their eyes are big. I'm not gonna lie to you; they're not small like ours.
But
the black part is a yeah. I guess it would be a good way of saying it. It's a shield that goes over it. It does all sorts of. It also shields their eyes. They come from a low light planet. You know what's funny about them? They would be perfect for Mars. Their eyes are definitely from a low light lens. Their bodies are made out of cartilage, and the way they move and stuff, which means they're used to a lower gravity environment than ours. They seem to move around in our gravity just fine. I ain't gonna lie to you about that. But still, this part of their face, so it's like I don't know how to explain it. So it's like this. This is about the face, and it goes up and then it goes out.
More images of that same dude.
That's real close. I ain't gonna lie. That's a pretty good damn picture.
I don't know if you've seen this video. This video is extremely disturbing. This creature actually talks. It's extremely weird. Oh, here's a full body picture image of that same individual. I believe this is not Jar Jared, but EBE2. This creature is. This is the second creature that came from the creatures who were part of the crash at Roswell.
What's that, Michael? J-Rod? J-Rod was on crack, man. He was always like twitching and shit. Twitching and stuff. J-Rod was on crack.
I think he had a habit with our coffees. Now, if you look at this creature has 4 fingers, 3 fingers, and 1 long thumb finger.
Well, there's 3. The 3-footers only have 4 fingers. They don't have 5.
Yeah. This creature is about 3.5 foot tall. Did you see the have you seen the full version of The Cage, the unaired episode of the first episode of Star Trek, where they meet the creatures that look like that?
Yeah.
In that show, if you're not,
and that's about the size of their heads.
Well, yeah, but what I say in that show, in that TV, the Star Trek show, that they have veins in those back of their head that you can see them pumping like this. You can see like blood going through them. It's a live special effect that they did on the set. This creature's head does that exact same thing on the video, and I'll try to find the video if you want to play it. It's really, you'd have to see it, Joe. I'm
creepy.
It is creepy. I'm a video major. I have a degree in video. I don't know where the hell I even.
Yeah, I spent lots of times learning how to take pictures and video.
But
plus, I won lots of stuff.
There's one more image of this fella.
Well too.
And this one's from the side. This is from the video. You can see the scan lines from the camera and the TV or the monitor or whatever. But this is the second creature brought to us from the species that crashed in Roswell, along with, as Joe says, some human personnel. What do you think of that dude?
It's not bad.
Yeah, and the ear is more of a.
He looks like a Chinese gray.
Yeah, they did. The eyes are kind of Asian slanted. The video you get a little bit more detail, but it is grainy, just like that picture that we see there.
But when you listen to people describe grays, they describe them with no nose, just 2 holes. The ears are just a hole on each side of their head. There's no ear bud or anything like that. And when they talk about their mouth, it's not like a jaw, but there are very sharp looking little teeth. They talk about it in great detail. I've heard it many, 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 many times. So It's pretty specific. I've seen a few pictures of something that might be close, but I don't see where it would be hard for us to get a real picture out. I think because of, well, one, the government would probably just retract it. I mean, they take off easier stuff. I mean, harder stuff than that off the internet. So I imagine if they wanted to wash it or scrub it, they could. And they could have done it easy back in the day. And I don't know. And then in some of these, when was it? Most of the videos said they were taken in the 50s and 60s. So
I think I found it.
Jimmy Delaney. Jimmy Delaney. What asshole? What do you got to say? And there's several videos of aliens out there. There's 2 from Area 51 that I know of. Actually, 3 from Area 51 that I know of. That's supposed to be a video of a Dulcie Gray running around with a machine gun. I'd like to see that. M16.
Oh,
A Gray
yeah, I
running
found
around
it.
with M16.
Found it.
That would
All
be
right,
fun.
pause it there. See if I can go back a couple. Yeah.
That would be funny. People are great with an M16. Come on.
Yeah, I think. Well, I don't know if their little spindly arms could pick one up, but
I know, huh? I don't
mean,
know. No, they're way strong. They could pick you
without
up.
a magazine in it, they weigh 9 pounds.
I know, but a Gray's like about 5 times as strong as the average human.
Yeah, that's what people don't realize.
And you know, it's so funny. It's a 3-foot Gray. He could pick up a 400-pound guy like it ain't shit. And
Yeah.
I only can wonder what a 6'5" or a 6-foot can do.
Is it because of the strength of their bodies or the strength of their mind using telekinesis?
See, it has to be telekinesis because I think they come from a lower gravity planet, so they should be weaker than us, not stronger than us.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, you ready for this?
Yeah, guys.
This allegedly is filmed by KGB of a gray alien under interrogation. If that's a puppet, that's one of the most amazing
I think it's a kid.
Or
something about the way he turned his face to the left when we first started out made me think it was a kid. It's the way he keeps looking down makes me think it's a kid.
Yeah, but for some reason they blacked out the eyes. And I can't tell you why. Maybe because they're disturbing. I don't know.
It's hard to say, but I can't see an advanced extraterrestrial looking down and not looking at the people that's standing in front of him, thinking, "You're about to die, you dumbass."
Well, there is some pretty
hey,
cool.
Tyler.
Look right here when we get to the fingers. So there are the fingers. Watch real close. I want to go back a few seconds. Watch real close those fingers because the camera's going to continue moving upwards. But keep your eyes on his hands. Those fingers move. They do not appear to be gloves.
Hey, Christy, how you doing, sweetie? Wait, do it again. Let me put this thing on full screen. Boom. There we go. You need to put that thing on full screen. Yeah, there you go.
All right. So let's go back a little. Okay. There they are.
You look so cute there. You know, go back. I want you to go down and pause it for a second. I've seen something odd. Stop. You need to go back just a tad, just like a split second. Okay, let me see something. Hit play. Okay, you can go. There was something odd there, and it wasn't. Oh, look, he blinked.
Yeah, he blinked. You didn't see that before?
Hey, you're so cute. You blinked at me, you bastard. Don't be blinking at me.
Watch. So they did something to black out the actual eyes, but it did blink. There's another blink over here, I think.
Yeah. Well, all right, but I want you to go back to that picture. I want to see something on top of his head. I just saw.
What the hell was that? So where did it go? There it is. All right. See him blinking? It's not a mask. It's not a puppet.
Okay. But this is important. Why would he blink?
Well, allegedly, this species has 2 sets of eyelids, one inner, one outer. The inner one is
that would mean they came from a planet system with a really, 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 really bright sun.
Or 2 suns.
but their skin
Like
doesn't suggest that. You see, but it's a contradiction because their skin doesn't suggest that. It's
Well, this is in black and white, so there's no way to really tell.
you can tell. You can tell when something's a darker skin. If it's in black and white, if it was brown, it would be much darker than it is
Yeah,
right now.
well, it definitely it's a whitish
This looks like it's lily white, like it hasn't been exposed to light. So it's kind of a contradiction, and not for its eyes. If its eyes are big and black like it's supposed to be, from a low light source.
Well,
I think I'll be honest with you. I think the only way them black things when they're on Earth, just because our sun's brighter, or the sun's brighter here.
But you can see here that they have physically blacked out.
See, but from the nose all the way around, that looks like a kid's face.
This part.
I think that's why they're blacking out the eyes, and I think that's why.
But that's how they're described anyway. People always say they look like kids.
Not anybody I've ever heard. Everybody tells me when they see a 3-foot gray, they think they're would just say it's scary looking.
Well, this would be kind of scary looking. To me,
almost everybody who talks to me, who tells me, and you know how many cases we got. There's no nose right here; it's flat. Maybe a little tiny bump, but not like that. That's a full nose. That's a human nose. That's somebody breathing through their nose, breathing oxygen.
I was going to suggest maybe this is a hybrid.
And that could be possible. Now you see,
this could be a hybrid.
That would be why the blink would be built in, because I can't see on the grays if you got the big patch over your eye, why they would blink. I think that would actually be a hindrance. But if it's a hybrid, it's probably a natural thing. That could be a hybrid. That could have been one of the ones where they're trying to upscale us, but the head came out too big. If anybody writes to me, when we talk about hybrids, the grays are not trying to make a better gray. They're trying to make a better human.
Well, and there's some
the
speculation.
grays already think they're so much better than us, it's not funny.
Here's some other stuff here at the end. It looks like him walking around. All right, let's go past all that and start. Here's something we didn't see yet. This looks interesting. I mean, I've gone forward enough, but just after this, here he comes. So there's a couple of them.
Oh, man, if there's three, they see his head. See the back of his head, that last one? His head was right, almost. It should have been a little bit taller, but it was almost. It might be hybrids.
Yeah.
Might be why they're being kept. Yeah, his head's pretty big. I don't know what that shadow on the back of it is.
But anyway, interesting.
It's interesting. Could be a gray. Could be a hybrid. I mean, it's not quite the right design to be a gray.
There's a couple of those that allegedly one or two come out of like the Area 51, Groom Lake, Papoose Lake facilities, and a couple from Russia. That's one of the ones from Russia. One of the ones from America, the alien appears to like. I mean, it has such a skinny neck. It looks like it's like sickly and dying, and someone attendant behind it keeps trying to prop it up. So maybe it's more of a puppet. Maybe harder to tell because it looks like it's dying.
Well, the real grays do have skinny necks because their necks aren't bones like ours; they're cartilage. Yeah. Cartilage can do a lot more than. Oh no, people! Cartilage is very strong and can do a lot more than what bones can do.
Yes, and they can also turn their head 360 degrees or 280 degrees. So
it's it's just different. Cartilage is more flexible but very strong at the same time. The grays. Remember, when you see a gray, you're going to see this big head, but their arms are also long and spindly. They're weird shaped. They're not proportioned to their bodies. Neither are their legs. So if you look at their torso is probably for a 3-foot. It's only probably about this big. It's long legs, long arms, and now when they get to the 6-foot, the torso gets a little longer, but they're still kind of spindly looking. And even when they're 9-foot, they're still kind of spindly looking. Wherever they come from, there's a reason why they have long arms or long legs like that. It could be a whole host of. Think about it. If you're in a low gravity planet, long spindly arms would be great. You just let them kind of float up, grab up, and pull yourself up. Pull yourself up, pull yourself up. You don't even need any freaking stairs. I know it's because they already said on Mars, like us, we could jump from floor to floor quite easily. On the moon, it won't even be anything. It'll be like bloop, 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 bloop. You'd have to watch how hard you jump. You might end up jumping 3 floors. That's right. So there was a mission to the moon last week. Or it's already on its way, whatever it is.
There's
Now,
2 missions to the moon right now.
well,
Launched
yeah, this
yesterday or this morning.
the one that's going right now is bringing the rovers, and
Yeah.
so it's. Well, I thought it was each one was carrying a rover, but the damn news guy kept saying both rovers were in the same rocket. Well, there's a 6'6" NASA rover and there's a 7 foot something Japanese rover because they want to go back. They're going to start testing all this stuff because we're going to Mars, people. We're going to go to the moon. Elon's already said he's going to put a base on the moon because he needs a base on the moon to go to Mars.
Yep. You need a launch platform that's not hindered by
Oh,
gravity.
did you? Oh, no. He said he was going to put up an a laser fence. That way he could, take like 100 miles at a time of territory on Mars. Well, they're going by the old Western standard. You fence it, you keep it. Yeah, that's how it was in the United States in the old days. You fenced it, you kept it. It was your land. No, there actually are places still in this country you can do that. Yes, there are. Probably no way you'd want to live, but there are places you can still do that. Yeah, you can fence it in, it's yours. One of them things. Sorry, people, I needed my coffee. Oh, the coffee's so good. It's so good. Hold on, let me get out of here so I can go see what I was looking for over here. Pop this back up. Ronnie Janani? Is that real? Well, I didn't know. Hey, I'm sorry you're offended, but Ronnie Janani, that don't sound real. I think you're bullshit. Where are you from, Ronnie Janani? From where? From Pakistan? I don't believe you. They don't have internet in Pakistan, man. Get out of here. They don't get internet on their phones, that's for sure. Everybody in the Middle East has internet on their phones. No, really, where are you from? Are you really from Saudi Arabia? Well, anyway, what's your question? I think you're bullshitting. What's your question? Oh, comment. So what's your comment? Oh, I agree with you wholeheartedly. He's a moron. Yes, Dr. Greer is a moron. So before anybody starts jumping on my ass about him, the reason why, so I met him a few times over the years. We've bumped in. We've been at the same conferences together. People have tried to force me to talk to him. The thing about it is, first off, I was behind the Disclosure Project, even though I didn't really agree with it 100%. I was behind it, and people like Stephen Bassett. Damn, my brain is fried. Alfred Weber, Michael Sala all asked me to get behind it. So I said, sure, because I was working with all of them anyway. I was in the disclosure thing. And then exopolitics. And then I remember one of my people who did guest acquisitions for me gave him a call. And he said he wanted $5,500 to come on the show.
Jeez.
So I said, okay. I said, don't worry about it. I'm going to call him. So I called him up and I said, hey, is it true? And I got some agent. I said, you want $5,500? He said, well, yeah, that's going rate. I said, dude, I have way bigger ufologists on my network than him. I said, I've had Michio Kaku, Neil deGrasse Tyson. I've even had a senator on here. And you're telling me he's better than
Jeff
them?
spoke to Neil Redfern six years in a row. He was our big Halloween guest for 6 years straight in a row on Church of Mavis.
Yeah, it's what I'm saying. So I was like, you're losing it. I said, there's no way. And I said, and because of that, I said, I'm going to have to tell people that, you're just in it for money. And then I'm in Washington, D.C. for the 9th X conference or 2009 X conference, sorry. So I'm there. And this lady comes up and said, oh, you're going to Greer's. We're going to go see extraterrestrials spiritually tonight.
Oh, God.
I'm like, really? He said, yeah, out on the beach. I said, wow, that sounds interesting.
How much?
He said, yeah, $3,600 a person.
Mm-hmm.
He takes 12 at a time, people. You do the math on that. What is that? $44,000 for a night to go take somebody to see spiritual ET. Yeah, I flipped out on that one. I flipped out on that. Oh man. I said, I am not putting up with this bullshit anymore. I was kicking his ass regularly. Ufology got lucky. Ufology got lucky because I got sidetracked. I ran into something I found more interesting. I got sidetracked for a while. But I'm back now, people. And you know how I am. And I'm not putting up with this bullshit anymore. I don't have to. I'm not. You know what? Back in the day, I was the new guy. You know what? Today, I'm 62. I'm the old guy. So you know what they can do if they don't like it? They can come on Friday night, and I'll tell you exactly what they can do. Yes, I'm sorry, I can't tell
No,
you.
and quite honestly, almost all of the guys
They'll get mad at me.
on Ancient Aliens, not only do I know more about ufology than most of them have, I've forgotten more about this subject than they know currently. And I'm probably older than most of them. I think William Henry's the closest one to my age.
I don't. Oh no. So we're gonna see how this goes down. So I want y'all to watch. Ancient Aliens is gonna have a special on alien abductions. So I want y'all to see how this goes. Now they came to me.
When?
Oh, just recently, about a month ago, 2 months ago, they came in November. Actually, they came to me in November and said,
Okay,
"Do you want to come on?" I said, "Well, what's it about?" And they said, "Alien abductions." And we talked for a while. And the producer, "Well, I'm gonna send you over 25 questions. I really, really want you to come on and do this group with us." I said, "Fine, just He said, "What are you free?" I said, "I'm free until about the second week of December, and then I'm busy." And 2 more phone calls, and then he never heard from him again. Well, what? No, I've been on Ancient Aliens before, Bruce. Yeah, 4 times. It's two headliner times and 2 times when they just bring you in when they're talking on some other bullshit, random shit, and they throw you in there for the conversation. Yeah, Ancient Aliens does. Each time I do Ancient Aliens, it's 5 to 10 hours worth of material they get from me, so they can cut clippets and throw it anywhere. That's why they do it like that. Yeah, because it might be somebody else talking about
something.
something.
Piece with you as an interviewee or answering
Yeah,
questions.
so they
Yeah, it's ridiculous how much.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's crazy. So I've been on about 4 times, but no, this would have been and come on. If you're going to talk alien abduction, who to bleep should you have when you bleep and show? Currently, there is nobody in the field knows what ICAR knows, and there is definitely no research out there that's done the amount of research that I have or the people I've worked with have. It's a ridiculous thing. When you have 125,000 cases on file, I mean, it's extraordinary that they wouldn't be talking to you.
Example of the information you have, which coincided with the information that I have. Because I'm like you. I dove deep. I'm kind of like your friend.
We love you.
I went.
I'm sorry.
Yep. I went head deep with the Betty Barney Hill story early on, and I've been inside and out of that story for forever. And you reminded me. I think it had to be the In Search of era, somewhere around the mid 70s, late 70s. I remember Betty talking about the star map she was shown, and that it was in a pull down, like a movie theater screen that you have at school.
Just pull down, to pull down like the pull down maps they used to have in our classrooms.
And it rolls back up like a shade, right?
Yep. That's what
I had
said.
forgotten all about that, and you reminded me of it. Like a couple months ago, we were talking about it, and I was like, "Oh my god, I totally."
But you see,
I focused on the fact that she had seen this star map, and then no one could identify the stars in it. And then in the 80s, 15 years later, they drew that, they put her star map in the computer, and they found out it was Zeta Reticuli, which I thought was pretty cool. But that's what I focused on. I didn't focus on.
But the problem, so there was a couple of problems. One, that was cool, but the map doesn't work because she doesn't have the point of reference. Well, so you can't tell where that map belongs without the point of reference.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. They had no idea what stars were represented in the field that Betty Hill drew. But then, like I said, this mathematician lady, is a college professor, I think, or maybe a high school mathematician, I don't remember, but she made this program so that you could, and it's the same program that oh god, the guys that did the research on the Sphinx, Michael West, that guy.
I know what you're talking about.
The Spanish guy, I can't remember his name, but anyway, that program, you could roll the stars back and look at what the sky map looked like on December 25th, year 1, AD or BC, either one.
Well, that's cool, but that still wouldn't give her the map.
But she put Betty Hill's map into her program, and
But that
It
wouldn't
found the
tell her.
star.
It wouldn't tell her what solar system it came from because there's still not a point of reference. She was seeing it from Earth. That will not give you the home star system. You can make any map fit. They've already been through this. They fit that map to at least a dozen solar
The computer
systems.
program found the point of reference, and it was a Zeta Reticuli, which had only just been recently discovered. The Zeta Reticuli system hadn't been discovered when Betty Hill drew the map.
But the map can be. What I'm trying to tell you is the map has been associated to 12 systems, not just Zeta Reticuli. Because the map, if you turn the map, or if you do this with the map and you turn it on its side, it becomes a different map. If you turn it 3/4, it becomes a different map. If you turn it upside down, it becomes a different map. Because then these stars are down here, not up here. So without the point of reference, you don't know what it actually is. Yeah, we went through this. I actually had a couple of big. I had Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about this on here. The problem is without a point. You, in other words, you can see the map from Earth, but without seeing it from its home planet, you don't actually know which way it was, because on a pull down map, it's always going to be on the top, but that doesn't mean that's where it is in the sky. It could be to the side, it could be to the bottom, it could be to the left, it could be over here. That's always going to be this way. We draw them ourselves. We do the same thing. That was another thing. And remember,
but let me
I don't think she was on a spaceship when she pulled down the map.
Regardless, she saw this map. Wherever she saw this map, whether it was the MyLabs map or even the aliens map, one way or the other, she drew this map. It still is ironic to me that even though there's 12 other solar systems it seems to match, that it matches Zeta Reticuli, where we're fairly certain aliens come from. Or at least
no, we're not certain. We hope.
Certain. There's good evidence.
Well, there's circumspect.
So the odds of that happening, though, of this, lady who's just a regular junior high school math teacher, drawing this star map that matches a star system that hadn't been discovered yet. When she drew that map the first time,
you know what?
Unknown.
I remember taking her map ourselves and putting it on the TV on the screen. It didn't really. It was not perfect match.
It wasn't very good. She was not. She even said when she drew it. I saw the video of her when she drew it years.
But that's the whole problem. You have a woman who she was a Betty Hill fan, by the way. She was trying to match this. She said this herself. She was trying to match it. She was trying to make it work, and she did. But all that means is she forced it. Doesn't mean it was correct. And I'm very circumspect when it comes to Betty Hill, because I don't think she was a contactee at all. I think Barney was.
I think she was residual damage, like you, yeah. But I still think some of the information she got is pretty, high grade stuff.
I would bet. Well, let's put it this way: Dr. Simpson didn't think so. He thinks she thought she was playing off of Barney and making it up. That's what the hypnosis person said, Dr. Simons. He thought that, and this is the other weird thing. So when you listen to the hypnosis tapes of Barney Hill, Barney describes the night of the abduction in the United States, and he describes it very clearly: black shoes, black pants, black shirts, black duck-billed caps, definitely humans. When you get on the ship, the other people who were working on them were wearing CDC outfits, white outfits, white tight shoes that are tied off the face, the helmet, the whole 9 yards.
When you see the eyes.
Yeah, so this has nothing to do with aliens. Even the way you walked up into the ship and went inside with the flipping doors and the pull-down maps and the opening drawers and the paperback books, that's nothing alien in there. So it would be highly unlikely that she would get information from an alien world on a human spacecraft. Or it wasn't even a spacecraft, it was probably a blimp. I would bet you money that's what it was, some type of dirigible shaped like something weird. I'd bet money on that.
It might even be a TR-3B.
Could be. I ain't going to rule that out either. It's because we had the SR-71s back then. So.
I've seen almost just about every documentary you can imagine on this subject, more than once usually. And most of the ones that do the artistic rendering of what happened to them when the abduction happens, almost every time they show the spaceship, it looks like at the end of a TR-3B.
Yeah. Well, the other problem is when you listen, see, no one's ever done Betty and Barney Hill right but us. No one ever talks about the Canadian connection, because that's where they were that day before. They were in Canada. Yeah. They were driving home at night from Canada. Nobody talks about that because that's where the abduction happened. And they don't want to talk about that because then that puts it as a mill
reunion or just a vacation. I forget what they're.
I don't know, but all I remember them saying on many occasions is that they were staying at this hotel. I forgot the name of the town, but I've got it written down somewhere. Her and Barney, they checked out of the hotel in the morning. They were headed home. They checked out that hotel that morning. They even said how many days they were there. And they were there, from what I understand, for more than one day. So they checked out the hotel. They went and had breakfast at the restaurant across the street. Even under hypnosis, they could not tell you the name of the hotel or the name of the restaurant. You know that's impossible, right? If you've seen it in your eyes under hypnosis, you will reveal it. So if they couldn't reveal it, that means they did not see it, meaning that they were not there. And then later in the day, they said, Barney describes the cop as he didn't even call him a cop. He just said he was a tall, black, thin man. They stopped to ask for directions. And she says he was a white, Irish, redheaded cop.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you get, I mean, that's not even in the same freaking realm, man. That's impossible. Well, that whole thing is classic alien abduction 101. I never understood this, how they couldn't figure it out. I mean, this is classic. Oh, I hear something humming or something. This is classic alien abduction 101. And I just, it floored me that they couldn't figure it out. And then after I joined Melinda Leslie and I started learning way more about military abductions. And then I got to Carla Turner's work and I was like, shit, I got to go back and reread this. And then when I did, I realized there was a military abduction, probably the first one that we know of in the United States, at least that we can point to. And the abduction was in there. But see, Kathleen Maldron tried to change all of that. She didn't say it was a pull down map. She said it was on a screen. There was a map on a screen. She tried to change the whole case to make it sound, which in all fairness to Kathleen, she tried to modernize the case.
Yeah, but I remember the television interview of Betty specifically saying, and the man pulled down this map.
Yeah.
And then she drew the map on the TV show. And this is probably, it must have been
and then,
search of or something like that.
So what got me is somebody asked her how long it took her to draw down the map. How many days do you think it was?
Oh, I don't remember.
You ain't gonna like this. How many days do you think it was?
I'll say 3.
Let me say this. How many months was it? It wasn't days. I'm sorry. I should have just been nice to you and started you out with months. Almost 9 months to the day before she drew the map.
Well,
which means she could have saw this anywhere. So that's the real problem here. Now, that does kind of help, though, in one way, because knowing that Barney was the abductee and knowing that they probably took Betty anytime they took him, at least when they were traveling and they were together, it's not to say she didn't see something. She just, what she needed to look at, what she needed to do was flip the map or turn it sideways so she could find the point of origin, because it probably wasn't on the screen. I mean, it was probably part of the map was on the screen, but I bet you the whole map wasn't on the screen.
Yeah.
And again, she doesn't describe it as a screen. She describes it as a pull down, roll down map. And as far as that goes, she might not have pulled the map down far enough.
Yeah. Well, and you know, as the years go on, and I think probably right before she died, and one of her last interviews, they do the reproduction, the actors and all pretending to be them and showing what they think happened. And they show her on the spaceship looking into, you remember those mirrors? Like it's just like,
hey, Dolly, I didn't see it, Anna.
That's what they showed her doing, is looking at a map on like this like digital map on the spaceship. I'm like, that didn't happen.
Yes, that's the problem. They try to change it, and then
the story escalates as it goes on throughout the years, definitely.
Yeah, and as I get out there and speak about it, people say, "Oh no, John," I said, "No, that's not the truth. This is the real thing. Go listen for yourself. Don't believe with the bullshit that's trying to make money off of you."
Yeah.
But there was other things besides that. Like the way they stopped the car.
I got something to say about her story escalating. There's a way to tell truth in the stories, and this is a tactics that police use when they interrogate you. They're not going to let you, if you and your friends get caught for doing something stupid, running drunk
Friday and his Agent Saturday.
Yeah, they're going to take you guys and separate you, and if all three of your stories don't match up, they know you're full of shit. But if your stories match up, then they're going to ask you, all the police are going to ask you the same questions repeatedly over different times to see if your story changes. The more your story changes, the more it's bullshit. And the best way that you can do this kind of a test is Johnny Carson did it. Johnny Carson, famously, you remember in his last studio, after he moved to California, he had a studio of exactly 505 people. That's how many people his studio held. 505 viewers, audience members, not counting the crew and the cameramen and the guest stars and all that. 505 people. And he had a guest come on, and the guest wrote like a one-line sentence on a piece of paper, and he showed it to the camera, but the audience couldn't read it or see it. And it was something stupid like, "Today I went to the store," was the sentence. And he handed this to the first person in the first row, and he said, "Memorize this and then whisper it to that guy's ear." And so that guy whispered, and then that guy whispered that, and they kept on going until they got to the last person, the 505th person. That one little sentence the guy wrote and made that guy whisper, starting at the first chair, became a paragraph. And nothing in it was the same.
I know, it's always how it is. That's why eyewitnesses aren't considered reliable.
Was gone, and there was this huge story of 4 or 5 sentences into a paragraph. So that's how lies are detected. Is that things get bigger and better and stronger.
They do, and unfortunately, they get changed and try.
Yeah,
Heron, you can still get the original hypnosis tape. I have one of these mini external drives. I got to probably take me 2 days to find them, but I still have them. I'm a pack rat. I also still have a lot of the original 60s and 70s AM broadcasts that they did. Oh yeah, they're great. And I tell you what, when you're listening to the hypnosis tapes of Barney, I mean, you hear him. I mean, he's distressed, man. He's screaming, he's hollering, but it's not all the time. It's just in this one section. So
only when the aliens are doing whatever they're doing to him.
Yeah. So at 1 minute, there's this him doing his stuff, and then there seems to be cover memories, or mill lab memories is probably what they are, and then the actual abduction memories. But there are 3 sets of memories in his head. And normally I would say they were cover memories, but since I'm pretty sure this was a military abduction, I'm thinking they're military abduction memories. There are things he said in the memories that make me also think that. But
well, if
it's like
if it's for Barney, then he's got trigger and the cover memories.
Yeah. Plus, Betty didn't have any of that. She didn't do any screaming or hollering in hypnosis.
She didn't suffer from PTSD. Barney did.
So Barney real quick.
Military, but he had PTSD.
Yeah, so give you a quick rundown. As a child, Barney had used to have horrific dreams and nightmares and problems. He had been seeing a psychologist, I think, since he was like 5. Also, Barney had a colonel living in his house and were friends with 2 other colonels. Barney was also invited to the White House to visit the president. Remember, he was a postman married to a white woman.
Well, and also the uniqueness about being friends with not 1, not 2, but 3 colonels.
That's outrageous.
You're 2 slots away from general.
Yeah, so they found out at a young age he'd been being taken, is what happened, and they watched him, and they knew about this abduction in Canada, so they just waited till he was back in U.S. staged in the area where nobody was going to see it, and they snatched him. And one of the best things to help you know that this was not aliens, besides the fact that they used razor blades and needles, which, as far as I know, aliens never use. And shaving samples and stuff. No, aliens don't do it that way. They have way more sophisticated equipment. But anyway, the way they stopped the car was these 4 things came down out of the ship and grabbed hold of the car and shot like lightning through it, and then and magneted the car and held it there until they came down and killed it, made the engine stop. Now this alien don't do that to stop your car. I think they use a version of an EMP or something along those lines. But every contact he told me that an alien stopped their car, it just went crazy.
One of the guests we had on Church of Mabus one time speculated that they might even use some sort of like nanotechnology to gain control.
I'm not ruling out anything. I'm not,
Think about this. There are some stories where, particularly military guys, where their weapons don't work. And I'm not talking the nuclear weapons. I'm talking
just compression
revolver,
weapons,
a pistol, a handgun,
anything that works on compression.
But how do you stop? What kind of technology stops a percussion weapon like that?
Well, nanites is a good way of it. I mean, I'm not going to rule it out.
There has to be a way to stop that. That's it's a neat speculation. How true is it? But it's a neat speculation.
It's as good as any other theory. See, that's the thing when we get into this kind of stuff.
Well, like Dolly's saying that, like the EMP on a vehicle, it's if the vehicle electronics are on if the aliens use an EMP on it, it's destroyed. The car will not start up. And with every abduction story, this is one thing that's pretty much solid across all of them, no matter who gets the stories. The vehicle works after the abduction.
Yeah, vehicle
So,
works just fine.
yeah, the radio works. I mean, everything goes back to normal. For whatever reason, that it seems like they are able to take control of the vehicle. Like some people have even said that it goes into park all by itself. You can't do that with an EMP.
No, you can't do that with EMP. All EMP is going to do is make your thing. I remember Linda and I were in somewhere out in Honey Island Swamp. We had a really, I'm not going to get into all the experience because it'd take too long, but when the thing went over the car, and I think it was a TR3B actually, the car just went and just went. Woo. And this was so. I mean, I was doing about 100, and it just. Woo. And then as it cleared my car, boom, the car just took off again. I was like, so it wasn't an EMP because the EMP would have just killed it, and I would have had to restart it. Whatever this was allowed the car to take off again.
Well, if we think about it, they're probably pretty smart dudes. They probably realize, they're thinking to themselves, if we turn that guy's car off that we want to abduct, he might crash and fall off the road and explode and die. So they've probably devised some sort of way to safely maneuver the vehicle to a safe spot where it won't be crashed into by other travelers of the night, and also so it doesn't crash into a tree. Yeah, I mean, if you were to just shoot an EMP at a especially one of today's cars, the brakes would stop working. It would just keep rolling forward until it veered off the road into a gas station and kaboom. So
yeah,
they're not going to have that happen. If they want to abduct you,
I mean, if they want to kill you, they might have that.
They're not going to risk your life to do it. So they're doing it in a safe way, I think. So some sort of a device, nanite robots, telekinesis even. Maybe they get into your brain and they turn your brain off and you sleep while, Joe Alien turns your car off to the side of the road and says, "Hey, honey, let's stop here." Boom, and you're abducted.
It's a very strange. The whole thing is a very strange the way it works out, but
it's something they've been doing for how many years on
eternity.
other planets.
But it also proves what we've talked about before, that they adjust to us. Because what did they? When it was a horse and buggy, didn't they just take you out the horse and buggy? The horse would just stop on its own. Eventually, or go home on its own. Horses are like that.
Well, a horse might be spooked by the technology of the aliens as well and run off.
Yeah, if it's seen it. I mean, they may come over cloaked.
Yeah.
And back then, there were more people walking than riding horses. So, I mean, it was just, whoop, let me snatch you.
There wasn't as dense population centers like New York. I mean, New York existed, but it wasn't 9 million freaking people.
We love you, New York. Yeah. Don't catch on fire like LA did, okay?
No. It's a good thing that the one thing I do like about New York is it is a true city. There isn't enough stuff really to burn that will burn like California's burning. If you wanted to burn New York, you would have to use massive accelerants and or military grade hardware.
I know.
I'm sorry, concrete's kind of hard to burn. I mean, you have to get the temperature like 2,000 or 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and that ain't easy to do with wood.
It's what's that, Jesse? Well, no. So when it came to the Hills case, it was just, I mean, the whole thing sounded like a military abduction. I mean, the way it was stopped, the way he described the people, the way the car was stopped. What about the dress? The dress didn't prove anything. How many years before they analyzed it? 40? 30 or 40. It was a long time, people. It was a long time for the analyzer dress.
61, and I don't think they started seeing Dr. Simons until 72.
And the dress wasn't analyzed until like 80 or 90.
After it had been cleaned and washed and dry cleaned how many times? Who knows?
Yeah. Then they said, it would never been cleaned. I said, well, I'm not really believing that. It's that's what I said.
One thing I do know about Betty Hill is that she was very much like my mother. She was a meticulous housewife. She was also a full-time teacher, teaching mathematics, I think at that junior high school level, 7th, 8th grade, something like that. But she kept an immaculate house. So I guarantee you that dress didn't get soiled in an alien abduction and then never washed again. Guarantee you she washed that thing at least a dozen times. Probably every time before she would show it in a video interview.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. It's what's that, Jeff? No, I mean, I'm not trying to hate on Betty. I just don't think Betty was a contactee. I think Barney was the contactee.
No, I think she's residual
I think
damage
Betty was
for
just along
being
for the ride.
regularly
Yeah.
abducted.
No, I think she was just along for the ride. So it didn't seem like they even started adjusting, thinking about matching people, contactees together until in the last 20 or 30 years. I don't think they really cared in the beginning, but today it makes a difference because of social media and the internet and all these groups that do this now. People make contact. People that have seen each other on the ships, and when they see each other in person, they're like, "Holy shit, I know you!" Which, as far as they know, they've never seen the person before. That's the point, and they know each other. I've seen this more than 100 times. I can't tell you how many times I've had people tell me about it. I've lost count. It's crazy how this happens because they're in the same contactee group. They get taken. Oh no, there's definitely contactee groups. Not every they have. I don't want to call them core groups, but they have large groups of contactees.
Fringe groups all over the place for all kinds of.
Well, you've got like three groups in the United States, and then you got two groups, one that hangs over into Canada and one that hangs over into Mexico. And those are the primary groups in the United States. And the biggest one is in the center of the United States. It actually takes on more of the country. And then you get the same things in Europe and Russia and China. It's just the groups may not be as big because they may not be doing the same things there. But I hate to say this. It's not that they don't take people out of the non-free world. They do. I don't know if they're as interested because those people are probably not going to be able to affect change. But the people in the free world probably can. Well, it's hard to make change in China. There'd have to be a lot of them. And last time there was a lot of them, they all got mowed down by machine guns and tanks. Well, I'm sorry, tracked vehicles.
It's not that hard to make change in China. You just go to that famous city, Chicheng.
That's right, Chicheng chicken.
And you get your change there.
It's who's that, Bruce? What do you mean? What I think they want? The aliens? They don't want anything. They just like to come here and have fun and have a good laugh.
Yeah. No, come
on. Like, look at you. Oh, but just make that human put their clothes back on.
Why would you hide yourself if you were superior to in every aspect to the race of the planet you're on top of? Why are they hiding themselves? There has to be some reason.
Because it's like that song, I'm too sexy for everything. That's what they think. I can't let the humans see us still fall in love.
Every fiber of my bones says that there's the very distinct possibility of very sinister goings on.
Well, you know what? I always tell this to people. You should always judge the aliens by their actions. Not by what people say, but by their actions.
Remaining
did they call you and say,
us, our citizens, free will?
That's right. I mean, did they call you and say, Joe Fox, I'm coming to take you today. I hope you're okay with that. Let me know. This is what's going to happen today. Be prepared for it. You might not want to have any food after midnight because it might be a little hard on you.
Because you're going to throw.
Yeah. So they don't do any of that. No. They just come grab you, drag you up by your feet, throw you in the spaceship, probe your ass. No, I'm sorry, I don't really probe your ass, but they may have one time. But other than that, they're not bothering it. They don't have to clean their equipment. It's disgusting. And what was that, Janice? No, they don't. I mean, like I said, it may be one time, but no more than that. Most of the time, once you get some like 13, maybe 12 to about 28 is when most of the rough stuff happens. Different types of breeding programs, different types of physical programs, different types of mental programs. That's when most of them happen. Not all of them, but most of them. When you hit your 30s, it's more about contact. It's more about why you're being taken, why they're here, stuff like that. But the problem is our brain is limited to how much information we can bring back from when we're with them. Yeah, it makes it hard.
Well, yeah, not only that, they say that our brains.
Yes, we suck.
The vibrational level of our brains wouldn't be able to decipher things at the 4D or 5D level, and we're only on 3D. And most of the aliens are 5D, whatever that means. But that's what.
Well, I got in trouble with a bunch of what do you call them? Different planes.
Dimensionalists.
Planes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people. So the other day, somebody's telling me about how high they are in dimensions, and I looked at them like, "You got to be stupid for me to think I'm gonna believe that." And they're like, "Why wouldn't you?" I said, "Because you're a human. I said, I'm not saying that couldn't be messing around with other aliens. I said, I'm sure there's lots of aliens in the universe on the same level we're on. I said, I don't have any doubt, and I'm sure we're going to probably live on some of them planets in the future. I said, but I don't think that we're going up to the. I said, we couldn't even get on a level with the Greys. We wouldn't even understand their thoughts. It would be like foreign. It would be like they were speaking foreign to us all the time. And it's not just that. I said, and besides that, I don't think the humans and the Greys, the humans and the reptilians would even allow you in a dimension with them. I think they would kick you out.
And I think this, if the light beings weren't even involved, would the Greys, the reptilians, the alien, all the 4 or 5 alien races, would they even be getting along at this point?
Now you see, I don't think they would. I think
they'd be fighting each other. Yes.
If the stories are true, when the light beings came here, however long it was a long time ago.
They were already fighting each other.
They were already fighting, and it wasn't just 4 or 5. There was literally thousands of races.
It's what is it called? The Lyrian expanse, when the reptilians started to attack the Lyrian culture, and then everyone started expanding from.
Because it was a galactic conflict. It wasn't like a local conflict.
Right.
Oh no, that's what they said. And if you can get hold of the aliens and ask them, they'll tell you, oh no, there was. And that's why the Greys were sent here in the first place, to keep an eye on the humans and reptilians, because they were about to get into it. Because the reptilians decided, oh well, look, these human aliens made copies of themselves. Let's go screw with them. And then they came and gave us some reptilian DNA, and here we are today, all screwed up and aggressive and wanting to slap people around and shit. Thank you, reptilians, but we are. That's what keeps us from being a slave.
Yeah, I think it's more than that. I think that not only.
It is more than that. I just like to simplify.
Well, yeah, not only did they create us, and then at some point some of the aliens interbred with us. I think whatever their war was caused some of the destruction in the solar system, not by.
Oh, it may have.
Not on purpose, but on accident. Why would the light beings force 3 or 4 alien races to repair this planet?
Well, think about this. So we've got. Well, see, Nerebru may have been coming through here a long time ago. That might be why that planet's there. Somebody else might have destroyed it.
That's true. If there was a Nibiru planet that came through every 36, 3800 we're overdue for it coming through if it comes on a 3600 cycle. But anyway, if a planet that size came through, it would destroy the 5th planet, which people called Tiamat. It would have ripped holes and destroyed
Earth.
It could have destroyed Earth. It got close enough to Earth, absolutely.
Well, if what the Sumerians said were true, if the Sumerians said was true, we'd all be dead. There's no way a planet.
14,000 years, I think.
It's that's what they usually say around the orbit's 3,600 years.
Yeah.
But what they really think happened was, and I kind of agree with it. I think the Nerebru was coming through the solar system, and Jupiter grabbed it, crushed it, and that's the debris field left between.
Or it
now,
could be,
by saying that.
It could be that the 5th planet, that they Tiamat, if you want to call it that, the 5th planet, which is between Mars and Jupiter, that's now the asteroid field. Perhaps that's what
maybe they collided to each other. But the real problem is the Nerebru was supposed to be 5 times the size of Earth. That debris field is about 5 times the size of Earth. So
yes,
it kind of fits. And we do know now that it wasn't leftover debris because there's too much compression inside the field.
No. Whatever was there was at one point a solid planet, because it has minerals that can only form once the planet gets atmosphere.
Oh, Jesse, if there were humans on there, they'd be 5 times as strong as us. Actually, 10 times as strong.
And there'd probably be 5 times as many of them, because it's 5 times bigger than our planet.
It would have been inside the inhabitable zone. Yeah, barely, but it would have been inside the habitable zone.
The asteroid field is still within the what they call the Goldilocks zone.
Yeah. So, well, Nerebru, they said that had been charted. I can't find it anywhere on any ancient charts, but somebody said it had came through. And the Sumerians talk about it in great detail. So
yeah, and
the only thing I can think that happened is Jupiter grabbed it and crushed it, and that's what's left.
They also talk about our solar system having 12 planets. They count the moon as a planet, they count the sun as a planet, and they count Pluto as a planet. So there's your 12. Hey Steve. Steven. There's your 12 planets. They don't count the unknown planet floating around that we haven't seen yet. But now we have detected through all of our detection devices the effects of a very large gravitational field or force on the outer planets and outer moons of those planets.
Yeah, they think it's a big rock out in the
brown dwarf. If it's a brown dwarf, we're dead. If a brown dwarf comes through, it's going to destroy all the inner end. It might even hurt Jupiter.
It's but we know the reason we know it's not a brown dwarf is because nothing's melting out in the Oort cloud. So
Well, it may not be close enough yet.
That's true too.
We're
It's
just seeing.
no. Something they think whatever this is in the Oort cloud. They just think it's really big. And then one guy said it might not actually be really big. He said it might just be a bunch of really like
dense materials.
Yeah, like big rocks just all clustered together, making it look like they all got trapped together in their orbit and they're just clustered together. The way planets get made anyway.
That's one thing we do know about this universe is that, especially around gravitational fields like that of a star, is that like-weighted materials tend to gravitate towards each other, which is why all the stuff on planet Pluto is like the lighter materials in our elemental table, and then the stuff going as you go further and further in, like the outer 4 planets are mostly gas, and then you have a asteroid field and then solid rock planets. So that it's lighter materials out by the furthest planets, and then denser and denser and denser as you get closer to the sun. The sun obviously having the densest material being a hydrogen explosion.
That's it, Christopher. Jupiter, Jupiter wasn't large enough to be a sun. And people always say, "Oh, it could have been," but they find much larger gas giants than Jupiter, and they're not suns either. So.
Yes, they do. But they also show in 2010 in the book by Asimov, they speculate that it will turn into a sun at some point.
I thought that, but now that I've heard, they found like 200 or 300 of these gas giants, like 50, 80, 100 times the size of Jupiter. If they're not gas, and way older than Jupiter too. So if they're not gas, they didn't explode into a sun. I don't know if Jupiter will either. I'm not saying it's always possible that something could trigger it, but should it had 9 giant comets slam into it and didn't even phase it?
Yeah. Well, and the marks didn't last, but a couple of rotations, and they were finally gone.
Yeah, they were gone. It didn't take long. It might have been a year, maybe 2. I don't know.
Yeah.
It didn't even seem like it was very long. It just that was a Shoemaker-Levy comet. Sorry.
Shoemaker-Levy, yes.
There's a string of pearls.
Shoemaker-Levy 9, actually. So
yeah, that's it. It was 9.
At least 9 that couple found.
The one of them was really freaking big. The last one that hit, shit, there would be no life on Earth if it hit here. Matter of fact, any of those would have hit here on Earth, there would have been no life. But that would have
sanitized the planet, and by sanitized, I mean there wouldn't be any life coming afterwards, ever.
Well, because it has the ability to turn and then turn over it just basically turns over the mantle upside down, and there's nothing left. It's just nothing.
It might even.
Maybe in a billion years after that, something may pop up from some debris of a rock that landed on the planet.
What could pulverize planet Earth like the 5th planet and turn it into a rubble field? There would be no life.
Do that too.
That. Yeah,
it could do that too.
That's the kind of devastation we're talking about.
Yeah. Oh no, it could have just smashed us into bitsy pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Or it could have smashed in and then melted for a while and then became a new planet down the line, a bigger one. It's just, you never know how those kind of collisions are going to go. You just, in the early part of the solar system, when everything's all molten, the collisions are easier. But now that we're a solid planet, it's a little bit harder.
Yeah.
And whatever's going to hit us would probably be solid too. So yeah, it might, but we're all going to be dead. So don't worry about it. Whether it comes back or not, it won't be your worry.
So it's like what they did with the JFK headshot in I think it was the early 80s. The FBI did it. They took the type of bullet that was allegedly shot at Kennedy's head and blew it open from the same kind of gun as what Oswald had. And they shot it at a melon. And the bullet went straight through the melon, and the melon did not explode. So then they took a hollow point bullet that was shot through a 223 or 5.56 M16, and they shot a different melon, the same type, but a different, the same around, about the same size, and that bullet made that melon explode. That's the difference between the densities we're talking about.
All right, hold on. We're going to play this prediction of Uncle Cracker. Oh no, that's Uncle Joe. I'm sorry. We can't call him Uncle Cracker. We already got an Uncle Cracker. I apologize. What's it?
What is he doing now? Transmediums? He's making predictions.
No. This is the truth about UFO governments, cover-ups, and humanity. Featured key insights from Doctor Stephen Greer. People, you shouldn't use doctor anymore when you haven't practiced being a doctor in 20 years. I mean, it should be off
Yeah,
of your
I
name.
don't care that you went to 14 years of school to get the doctorate degree on there. Doesn't make you an expert.
On what? Doesn't make an expert in UFOs. My pedigree's better than
On
his.
anything, yeah, period. And when was the last time you practiced actual medicine?
Right. Wait, right.
1998.
Right. What do you
3
mean?
decades ago.
Why did I say my pedigree's better than his? Because I have aircraft recognition. One of the first things I had to learn in the military was how to check foreign aircraft. I have degrees in advanced electronics and advanced avionics. He has none of that.
Hey, Joe, translate this for me. ... dash ...
SOS.
He
People.
knows Morse code.
All
Navy men know Morse code.
Yeah. You
You
have to learn some basic Morse in case you get your
Especially if you're going to be on the flight deck as the flight captain, you have to know Morse code, sir. Even
so we're gonna pay this.
one.
And we might skip around this because this is real long, so we're not going to play much of it. We're gonna just a little first piece I heard coming in, so we're going to play this, and maybe we'll play something else. But my problem with Greer is he always says big stuff, but he never produces it. So I'm hoping what he's saying here he's going to produce, because I want to see some top secret CIA and top secret people come out and give out their numbers and their life and say this is what actually happened and this is when it happened. And I can prove it. See, remember, people, words don't matter who it is. Words don't mean shit. It could be even from the president. Anybody can say anything. You have to have proof.
Not just words. The show says, wait, breaking news, what the drones really are. How does he know?
Because he thinks he knows everything.
Nobody knows
I'm being polite, but anyway, let me go ahead and click this on play. There's a play button. There it is.
You can also use your space bar, too.
Then this whole drone event started. Now, why? Because it's causing a lot of consternation and confusion. It's also causing a lot of mixed signals and sort of a diversion, so that when they begin to come forward with their evidence and information, people are going to say, well, maybe it was just all drones. Now, what are the drones doing?
Yes.
I just had here with me they left an hour ago, a contractor who has been tasked with looking into this. And he's quite convinced some are ours. They're all man-made. None of them are alien or anything like that. But quite a few of them appear to be originating from China or Chinese assets for reasons that appear to be surveillance. And that is at least the conclusion these experts have reached. Now,
what experts? I ain't heard no experts. Every expert I've had said they're not going to do. They're not from China.
And people
can you
coming
repeat
forward.
That was so huge. Can you repeat that statement again and then continue?
What part of the statement from
Chinese?
When we went? Oh yeah, that they know that quite a few of them are from the Chinese, but the Chinese activity is probably being coordinated.
We're going to have to do like they do those
criminal
freak out on election night. We're gonna have to do one for this.
All the UFO secrecy. So in other words, here's the mistake everyone makes here in Washington, where I am right now, and everyone listening. We all look at a map of the world, and we see a boundary between Canada and the United States, or China and Russia. The organization that's working at the level that we're talking, they don't care about that, and they have assets that are derived from many, many countries. It's like a United Nations of illegal covert programs.
Yeah.
Now that goes back, we know, to the 1960s. And I can tell you a story about that in a little while. It's in our disclosure files at our archive.
Why not
but
now, Stephen? Tell us the story
as soon
now.
as this group decided they were going to set a date to come forward, and remember,
so what does he think? The Bilderbergs and Skull and Bones are going to just let
two
these
of the
people
chief
do
black
whatever they
sites out in the Western desert in a helicopter with the main guy who's coming forward and defecting. He's been a special forces operator there since 1995 in those programs. And as soon as they decided to come forward, set the date, and this was the big surprise about a month ago that I learned, they're going to unmask themselves. So in other words, they're not going to just anonymously say, here's what we've seen. These are at the highest level of aerospace contracting and special forces who are going to come out, rank, their name, rank, serial number, nothing held back.
I'm already out and I'm calling
in
you
terms
saying
of their
you're full of
identity.
shit.
So That's a game changer, because this is the most significant, earth-shattering disclosure in human history. Number one, when I tell you what they've been doing there, and then number two, in anticipation of that, these corrupt enterprises are trying to gaslight Congress and the president and the public and the media, and create also the specter. This is the other part of this. Why would anybody tell this guy anything? Frightening in disguise coming. See, this has been the plan since 1953, at least, that Werner von Braun warned us about. The man who invented the rocket for Adolf Hitler.
Even he was, he'd have been one or
told
something.
A member of my team, Carol Rosen, that the plan was to eventually launch an alien threat or something from the skies, that they could unite the world around some sort of authoritarian or militaristic totalitarian superstate. That is what they're doing. That is, we're at the point, we're at the inflection point where that's all about to happen. And so they're trying to set up a lot of diversionary tactics, as well as things that are frightening people, because they manipulate people through fear. People, world leaders right now.
So what do you think? And people in the chat are hopping up and down, and there are also people who I can tell are plants in the chat to plant disinformation. What do you believe is the big picture plan? How do you see it going? And is there even, I can't believe I'm going to say it, a timeline of what's coming next?
Well, again, the group that's defecting,
the host needs to turn off
6 black sites,
glasses.
Determine their own timeline. I've been working with them for 20 months. They told me a month or two ago that it would
trans status
between
don't hate on a
late
trans
December and the inauguration or early January.
Is it a trans person?
It's imminent.
I don't know.
This is
New
Year's Eve.
Who's going to hear this somewhere down the line? Because we're
that is what they determined to do. Now, I have had people in the incoming administration.
He looks like he has jaundice or something.
That I won't name who, but people who are up for cabinet level positions.
You know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of the guy off of Beetlejuice.
Delayed until after the inauguration. I said no, they won't.
That's what he reminds me of.
Plate of the incoming president. He's on his table right away. So that wasn't my call. That's the call of these groups that are affecting. I want to be clear about that. And I'm simply the liaison between that group and the current government and the incoming government. And I'm doing the same thing in London and other places, and Russia and other nation states that need to know. But I think that the
playing around Russia, you're gonna play your ass into jail.
What happens after that? So let's unpack that for a minute.
Thank you.
Once these disclosures happen, and because the provenance of these men that are coming forward is sterling, and what they're going to disclose will be shocking to the conscience. I can give you a preview in a moment.
Thank you.
Why in a moment? Why not now, Stephen? What's the preview?
Like you've never heard of. That the result of that is going to be a number of issues. One, what does the incoming administration do about it? Now, having just spent a lot of time with a lot of the incoming people who are senior.
Drop some names, Stephen.
Or they know false information.
You so full of shit.
Because
come on, Stephen, drop some names.
Like Luis Elizondo and others go in there and say, hey, they're a threat to the national security. And oh, by the way, all these objects you see, none of them are ours, so they have to be alien. That's a total gaslighting. In fact,
I'm beginning to think Dr. Greer is a disinformation. I think he's been
3 weeks ago, meeting with a very senior person.
Who started to try to debunk
the person
it and then
had
a believer.
People currently operational. All right. Beach literally was physically shaken because he didn't know that we had these things, because he had already looked into it and had been told, oh no, everything going on is alien. What is the in children and people out of Indonesia in 2009? And he was there. And the person we were briefing, who will be a very senior cabinet level person there in Palm Beach, literally was physically. he's going to tell initially, because some of it does shock the conscience. And so much of it sounds like Star Trek or something, but it's all real. And that's what I've known this for 30 some years. And now it looks like it's going to come to a head if they can pull it off in the next couple weeks.
Thank you. So a whole bunch of questions related to protection here. And then I want to dive back.
Okay, we got it. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we got to get out of there, because if not, more than likely Facebook will get upset with us, or YouTube will get upset with us or some way. What would you say, Chris? He's full of shit. I was about to send him a roll of toilet paper, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and it's just like you said. He promises all kinds of things and delivers nothing. I can give you all kinds of examples. I'll talk about that later. Well, why don't you talk about it now?
Jay and I are going to have to listen to this thing and cut out segments and come back and play them for you.
Yeah, you have to send me that so I can look at that.
Yeah, it's where the hell did I do with it? I'll find it. It's on here somewhere. I typed in Dr. Greer's new projects on YouTube.
I've got a new Fire tablet, which is it's like the size of an 8x11 page, and I got it for reading books, and it's fantastic. I can look at that video on there.
Yeah, I like the pads so you can.
He's right. That is exactly Stephen Greer.
Oh yeah, he's an egomaniac. There's not even
100%. He's in it for the money. So is Salas. So is Childress. Probably one of Nick Redfern is a legitimate guy. He's not. He's a legitimate researcher. He's not in it just for the money. This is his living. He writes a book, at least 5 or 6 books a year, right?
And he does lots of things. He gets paid for everywhere he speaks, $4,000 or $5,000. He makes a good living.
Yeah, but he's done everything. He's not a specialist. He knows everything about UFOs, ghosts, Slender Man.
Oh, he was making so much money. I think his ex sued him for like half of it or something. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's important. He's such a nice dude.
He don't need to be plugged in this. But I know we got to get out of here in a second anyway. So what were you saying?
Well, I was saying that most of the guys you see on those shows, they're all in it for the money. They're definitely tracking money for this. If I could be making money off it, I would too. But I'm not and haven't. I've been looking at this since I was 11. I'm 58 years old. Then if I start from I'm 18, I'm 58. That's still 40 years.
So Stephen, first I will have to do this show next week, the one we were going to do on evidence. But thank you, Dolly. But do you really think there's this all-powerful group out there? And the reason I'm asking you this is, do you think the Russian oligarchs would put up with it? Do you think the Chinese powerful people would put up with it? For that matter, anybody. I want to see you marry together an American elite with some Chinese elite and some Russian elite and pretty much everybody elite around the planet, and make them all get along good and agree on how we're going to divide everything up. Yeah. You just keep having those fantasies. You got to remember, there's the Bilderbergs, there's Skull and Bones, there's the Rothschilds, there's the Rothschilds. I mean, they're just not, and we're just talking American groups. We're not talking British groups.
There's also
Russian
there's
groups,
several Central European. Isn't the Habsburgs one as well?
Yeah. So the problem here is trying to marry together a group like that is. Look, I'm all for world. I'm all, people get mad when I say this, but I'm all for one world, just not a Chinese world.
I don't disagree with one currency. I don't disagree with one government. But what I do have a problem with is that I don't think, as a people, we're going to come to any kind of reality like that, no kind of utopia, with 200 different types of religions.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think
eye to eye, and you're not. I mean, either you get rid of all of them, or you just say, "Look, all of you get along together, or we'll kill you."
So I really think after about 20 or 30 years, you can have complete religious freedom. Because you, like you just said, you have to show that there's serious consequences if you interfere with another religion. And I think once you do that, you'll be fine. Because a one world government does things differently. One, you don't have to have this big, massive military around the world.
Wars have all been religious based. The thing that's happening in
Hamas
and Israel is a religious thing. The stuff that happened during the Crusades was about religion. I mean,
but World War II and World War I wasn't. And Troy War wasn't either. That was over
But
Helen.
you've got 1,000 years of like what, 101.
Oh no! If you do it by the numbers, yeah, religion kicks everybody's ass.
Religion has caused more wars than any, border dispute or, you stole my wife kind of thing, the Helen of Troy deal.
Just about every war in the Middle East was either fought over religion or oil.
Israel and Hamas are right now fighting because they have huge religious.
They're fighting the jihad, man. The jihad.
They have huge religious dissonance between them.
No, Denise, we got to go because Michelle DeRoche is just about to go live.
Yeah, and she will kick
something
our
about
ass.
she was making Amelia do the show
right
naked. Yeah. No, she said she was making she was making Amelia do the show naked. I don't know what that was about. I'm not going over there. I don't want to hurt my eyes. What is wrong with you people? Just teasing you. Shh, don't tell me that you'll hurt me. Anyway, they are live in about 7 minutes, so they'll be live. You go check them out. Jay and I get ready to check out in just a few seconds. Well, he's been setting timelines since I've known him, since 2001.
Yeah.
He set a timeline for disclosure. He said by 2005 we'd have disclosure.
It's
20 years later. Yeah, no disclosure. He's actually, if you go back and listen to all the shit Greer said, he's actually said a lot of stuff. But anyway,
Stephen Greer, and I'm sure he's probably a very nice man to talk
are you
to.
being a snow bunny?
We share the same.
I seen Christy looking like a snow bunny the other day.
Good night, Christy. The thing about Stephen Greer is that he's probably a very nice man. I probably wouldn't dislike talking to him about something. We share a passion for the same subject, UFOs and whatnot. But if you really want to compare the man to what he seems like to me, you have to go back 100 years to the snake oil salesman that followed the circuses around. They would sell you a bottle of whiskey
that's a
and tell
good
you
analogy.
your ales. That's how he is.
Peter Piper Eater, what am I jealous of? Greer, what about? Give me something specific. I'm way better looking than he is, so it can't be that. I have way more knowledge than he is. He can't do that. I have better education than he does. Can't be that.
I have an education.
It's I got top secret service. He ain't got that either. I don't know what to tell you. Tell me when you think of what it is I'm jealous about. Oh, he is more famous than I am. I will have to agree with that. But only because I've been preoccupied with other stuff. They're talking about Uncle Greer. And but the difference between Greer and I is I'm honest and he's not.
I wouldn't say that he's dishonest. I just think he's a bit of a braggart and he's jumping the gun a little. I haven't, when they had the just recent disclosure discussions in the Senate, you asked and the audience always asked, what do I think? I'm like, I'm not excited. Nothing's going to happen. What happened?
Nothing. It's not going to happen. All the good stuff is behind closed doors because they can't tell you people yet. You are not ready. People of the world, you are not ready. When you're ready, somebody will tell you.
11 years old, just a little boy. Honest to God, since I was 11 years old, I've been following the subject, watched everything I could, read everything I could on this subject since I was 11 years old. And I hate reading. I'm dyslexic. It sucks to read.
Oh, people listen to the show already, but the majority of people are not. So,
but the fact is, I've been hearing from different congressional hearings from the 70s and 80s and all the way up till today. Congress is wanting to do this about UFOs. I'm like, yeah, sure they will. Whatever. They haven't done shit about it. They're not going to do shit about it unless the aliens come down and park themselves right on top of the Washington Monument and say, hello. The U.S. government's going to say they don't exist. Period.
Well, they might like a good enema and they might go park on the Washington Monument.
That's what I just said.
Oh, it is? I apologize. I didn't hear that part. Anyway, guys and girls, see, my brain is gone as I get older. It's just fried. No, we got to go. We got 2 minutes. What do you want? Who? Greer's Greer. I mean, he's who he is.
He's
Oh, you mean me? No. Okay, real quick. No, I've been preoccupied the last 10 years. Had other stuff going on that's now been caught up and taken care of. Well, I got a lot of research projects, and UFOs are important to me, but we had gotten a long ways out, and I had to redo the organization because it was time, after 30 years of research in the org, not including the research of UFO on my own for 40 years. It's just time to change things around some. We might even change the name, you never know. But I'm back. And that means all hell's about to break loose. Because if you go look at ufology before I joined the field and watch until I left the field, there was a lot of shit got changed. A lot. Because JoJo don't put up with shit. And certain words don't need to be used. And certain things don't need to be. We changed the way people do hypnosis. We did all sorts of shit. Because if you do research and not bullshit, you learn stuff, and you learn that even the aliens make mistakes. And sometimes they react to what we're doing. And if you're subtle enough and working hard enough, you'll catch that shit, and it's priceless information. Well, go see him, visit him, talk to him. Go out and have the spiritual, liaison with him out in the swamp or out in the out on the beach, and tell me how it goes. I've talked to a lot of people who have gone on these adventures with him. Yeah, they're all recorded. Maybe one day I'll make them public. Oh no, I got a letter from his people, not from him, but from his people, about a cease and desist, because I was going around asking all their people about what kind of experience they had. I can't tell you what I wrote back because this is a G-rated show, but PG-rated show, but still, we'll just say it was a friendly letter and leave it at that. Anyway, on that note, we got to go. So don't forget Friday night. If we're going to try to squeeze in some crazy election stuff, if we can. Remember, this is Uncle Crackers.
Huh? Election meltdown videos.
Yeah, we're gonna try to get. I seen some more the other night. They've been pretty good.
I can't wait.
And the woman from Sky News does some great ones, so we're gonna try to get a couple of those in. Yes, we're gonna talk about Joe Biden. I'm sure he's gonna do a speech. Is it tonight or tomorrow night? He's doing a speech saying "Adios, amigos" to the country. We'll probably talk a little bit about that. We'll probably talk a little bit about Uncle Humpty Trumpty coming into office. Yeah, we may even get a little yap in there because some other stuff's going on. No, see, that's the thing about news on the flip side. It's mostly news related, but we do talk about a world of stuff. What's that? Oh, you talking about the chat? No, Saturday night. Why? Because we bad? Is that why that show's popular? Because we bad? Who's bad? Jay's bad? Yeah, because I'm an angel. I'm an angel on that show. I'm bad on Friday night. Jay's bad on Saturday night.
Yeah, it's my turn to be devil's advocate that evening.
Yes. I'm Agent Friday and he's Agent Saturday. So it'd be Agent F and Agent S. Mm-hmm. That don't sound right for some reason. Oh, Michael, he's always bad. I don't even to tell you. Sean's pretty bad too. You gotta watch him. He's got like 25 girlfriends, man. What the hell? Yeah, I know it's insane.
23 wives. Don't forget the 23 wives.
Oh, that's the other Sean got the 23 wives.
Oh, okay. We're talking about.
You're talking about Leah. No, Leah's a sweetie, but she's got like 5 husbands.
Mm-hmm.
And 26
babies. She has 3 jobs.
Yeah, I think she got 26 babies. Yeah, it's crazy. Anyway, we'll see y'all Friday night on news on the flip side. Oh, Chris used to, he is a sweetie. Well, we have 2 Seans on Friday night. We got Sean Hazlitt and Sean Kelly. So we have 2. Mm-hmm. One used to be a tank driver. One used to be on an aircraft carrier like me. Mm-hmm. But both of them are nice guys. Oh, no, Sean Kelly you can catch on Into the Night on Tuesdays and Sundays. Yes. Yep. You can catch Sean, the other Sean, on Sundays too. You can catch me on Wednesdays, Fridays, and twice on Saturdays.
And occasionally, if Sean has his wife lets him, he'll come in on Friday and sit with us.
Yes, she's got. I can't say on the show what she has. You'll have to wait for Friday night to find out.
Yeah, I can't say. Is you're trying to say, huh?
Actually, Christy, Sean's doing a great job. He's been a project of mine since day one. I've always been trying to help him get his audience up. Matter of fact, I just had a meeting with him not too long ago about it.
I helped him prepare for that show. He had Michelle on talking about orbs, and he had trouble getting the video to download. He's trying to download it so he could play it over the overlay, but he couldn't get it. So I showed him how to present it through the screen like an hour or so before his show.
I think he's got was it used? Oh man, I forgot one right out of my head. Oh, by the way, I was with Karen Swan the other night. Y'all should go check it out. It was a good video. She had no idea who I am, even though she's on the network. It was a great interview. It was a lot of fun. I like when I talk to people who don't know who I am. It's way more fun. Yeah, well, she's going to be on this show. I think it's February 5th. I have to check and make sure. And she's going to come hang out with Jay and I, and we're going to talk about all sorts of interesting stuff. Yeah, she's on Sunday night too. So it's her, it's Karen, Sean, and Sean on Sunday nights. All three shows are really good shows. Go enjoy them, have a lot of fun, check them out, and stay out of trouble. What's in what? I know, because Michelle set her up. Michelle was being a bad girl. Michelle likes to do that every once in a while. She'll recommend me as a guest, but she won't tell him anything about me.
Oh yeah, by the way, he's your boss. What?
Yes, he can talk. Well, everybody knows. Well, she knows I'm the boss. No, she knew I was the boss. She introduced me as the boss, but she didn't know that I knew what I knew about ufology. She had no idea. No, she's real sweet. No, I like her. She's a good host. No, she's doing good. Whoever said that she's doing good. And then where am I? I'm somewhere next week. I'm going on somebody's show now and I forgot. But anyway, we got to get out of here. Y'all trying to get us in trouble.
We're gonna get in trouble with Michelle.
Yes, man. I mean, she's the boss. It don't matter I own the network. She's the fucking boss. People try to tell you. And again, we're gonna get out of here. Again, I want to say I'm sorry for Laura Lee. I hate hearing about her son passing.
Yeah.
I hope she gets over it. Or I told her, the station's here for, the guests are here for, the listeners are here for, so she's well loved, and hopefully she can. I know you can't move on for something like that, but at least there's lots of people to talk to help you to kind of adjust.
Possible news you can hear.
Yeah, but on that note, we're going to get out of here. Good night, everyone. Again, thank you for tuning in to UFO Undercover with Jay and Joe on United Public Radio, and we'll see you Friday with Jay, Joe, Mike, Sean, Lee, and maybe the other Sean. No, wait, there was somebody else wanted to join us. Anyway, on that note, we're out of here. See y'all then. Bye-bye. Ding bong. Ding.